just puts another gun into the mix. They had all the information and they played off it perfectly. Heretics left with pistols, and although they may be a strong squad when it comes to eco rounds, I don't think the Fnatic are going to make that same mistake twice.
No, they do still have the same amount of pistols, but it also means that they can afford a little bit of extra damage. That was close.
Got a little worried there. They had all the information and they played off it perfectly. Heretics left with pistols, and although they may be a strong squad when it comes to eco rounds, I don't think the Fnatic are going to make that same mistake twice.
No, they do still have the same amount of pistols, but it also means that they can afford a little bit of extra damage. That was close.
Got a little worried there. They had all the information and they played off it perfectly. Heretics left with pistols, and although they may be a strong squad when it comes to eco rounds, I don't think the Fnatic are going to make that same mistake twice.
No, they do still have the same amount of pistols.
Waiting for them there. The Alpha, I don't think he's going to get a chance for a pick here, but even destroying that utility, putting question marks into play for the defense could have its value. That orb farming on Chronicle, we saw him go aggressive with the Marshal, looking for the picks early on. He's not far away from Rolling Thunder, but it won't be there for this round.
Caution here.
They'll be held back. Spike looking like it's going to go back in the other direction, but it will leave them with limited amounts of time. 40 seconds left on the clock, and they've still got an awful lot of ground to clear. Timing here for Wu is going to be absolutely everything. If he gets this pick, it could be a problem, but Kayak has been an unstoppable force so far in this map, and now just sells a ruse. You see the aggression going through on that top side of the map, making that realization, okay, they're going to A. Let's start clearing out the other side, and now the smokes fall, and they are nowhere to be seen.
They already got rid of that camera early on inside B main, so it's not to be worried about. Rien's dealt with. He was already so desperately low. Boo ahead of the curve, but Chronicle still picks him up. Now just one away from that Rolling Thunder and one pick away from putting double digits on the board. There's Rolling Thunder online one way or another. And Mini Boo doesn't stand the greatest chance of taking this across the line. I don't know how far away Crashies is from those salvos, but I think they'll be online fairly soon. Even as Mini Boo continues to chip away at this task, it's like Atlas, it will never end. Certainly not in his favor. As the players continue to be picked off, salvos come online, time keeps ticking, and it's still not halfway. Beautifully played, no matter how strong Mini Boo is in those fights. Fnatic had all they needed to put 10-5 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, you can kind of see why those nerfs are coming.
A little bit, a little bit.
The amount of sort of time that could just be bought on the clock by Crashies alone, and this is why you might look at him at the bottom of the board right now, 6 and 9 in terms of the kill feed, but just the time he's able to buy, the space he's able to take, it just makes things so awkward for the remaining player. 10 rounds on the board. Of course, for Heretics, the story has been for a while about that second place curse. And you go back to stage 1 and stage 2 of last year, or the reason they never won it was because of this squad in front of them. Even if internationally they did better, Kayak, he definitely knows that there's a target to be had, and well, is waiting for Rienz to make his move. So aware of these positions, and even under pressure, he's still landing the shots. Boo is all that's left.
Spike planted.
This rifle recovered. Mini Boo managed to chip away at them last time, but what stopped him? It was the salvos, and guess who's still online, still alive? Now, salvos aren't there just yet, but we've seen it. They'll be ticking away in the background, and other players throwing themselves at this fight. Boo would have to root Crashies out first. He has found him and taken him down. Recovered the weapon for the magazine, finds his third, now it's down to one! A few shots away from an unbelievable clutch, but Boaster pulls Fnatic across the line, 11-5, 4 rounds in a row, and Team Heretics calling a pause. They know that their chances of closing this map out, of even competing here on Fracture, are fading away round by round.
Yeah, no, it was an incredibly nice try from Boo, switching guns midway through, and well, the last man standing, Boaster, had to put him down to stop that.
Good job, boys. Very nice.
About 11-5 up. A 6-round streak for Fnatic on their map choice. Looking at that veto, the potential for a Haven to be picked again. That could have been the choice of Heretics going into the next. They decided to switch things up, go for an Icebox, maybe play the mind games. We'll see if that comes back to bite them. And the Fracture choice, not really that much of a surprise. Even though it was close versus Liquid, we saw the resilience, we saw the depth of what this Fnatic squad have on this map. And well, you just look at the scoreboard right now. As said, you can talk about the impact of crashes without the kill feed, but everybody else is lighting up the kill feed. Boaster now, I think in the last series versus Heretics, managed just 15 kills across 2 maps. He's on 13 right now. I don't think he's the major talking point, with Kayak, Chronicle, and Alpha all having one hell of a game.
Yeah, Alpha's first half was unbelievable. I think you can't take anything away from him when it comes to that second. Oh, here's a great stat as well, backing that up. In their last match, Kayak won 80% of opening duels against Miniboo. Like, unbelievable to see this guy go head-to-head with a player that many in the world have learned to fear. But he does seem to be his kryptonite. 11 rounds on the board for Fnatic, and something has got to change for Heretics. They've got ultimates, Rolling Thunder, and Orbital Strike coming into this round. And on attack side, that can be used to great effect to take space and deny in that post plant. Here on the defense, well, you've got to have players left alive, right? And Fnatic have been so good at pushing and pulling this map that Heretics can't feel certain that off one piece of contact, they can throw everything at it. It's a little harder to find the space to use them.
You've got the camouflage cam, and on the other side, you've got the aggressive peak coming up, but Woot's definitely been having a struggle so far on this Teo. Someone we know that normally individually sound has not won a lot of these opening fights, but will take Boaster out. The Orbital Strike gone, and so are the smokes.
Hasn't deterred them. Salvos force players to the open, the smoke shielding them for now. Alpha picked off going up into heaven, and now, well, even Orbital Strike committed. 5 versus 3, 25 seconds on the clock when that ult is taken out. I'm a little surprised. The respect being shown, perhaps for good reason, but they dropped Kayak right away. 10 seconds, salvos to deny, and the round is already done. If this spike makes it down, I will be very surprised indeed. And I suppose it does make it down onto the floor, but not planted. Chronicle to save his weapon, and a round back for Heretics.
Yeah, clearly feeling the pressure a little bit. The Orbital Strike, I think, just utilized to make sure that the round is confirmed. But I also think with other ultimates online and coming online, just making sure that the cycle of those ults is going to be further in that favor. But I think the most important thing was just the start. Woot being able to hold it down, denying both of that space, and then just having those quick rotations back in onto the site. It's the combo breaker. The 6-round streak ends before it hits 7. But there needs to be a whole lot more for Heretics to make me believe in this map, at least.
Whole lot more indeed. Now one player's got a pistol. It is Kayak. You check that ultimate. You look at the value found in the last half.
Oh my God.
Certainly far from an easy round. Trap already destroyed. Benji will be under pressure anytime now. An ultimate put into play. Kayak on his way straight through. There it is, activated. But Miniboo's the first to draw blood. It's Benji under the pressure as predicted. Miniboo to fall as well. Numbers kept even, but the attack side has space. Rolling Thunder keeps the spike in the defender's hands. They've got it dropped in towards main for now, but Alphayer with a quick double puts this one to bed, smoking off the spike and taking it from under Rien's nose, and now a 1 versus 3. A big play coming in as well. Down below you can see that Alpha is lurking, making his way around to close this out from behind. Rien's worried about the players in main. Now he's got an idea though. Alpha hits the shot anyways, returning to that first half form. A 3-piece, and that puts them again double the rounds of their opponent, just 1 away from taking their map pick.
He's had so many high impact rounds throughout this matchup so far. Took his teammates to sort of get him into position, but then just swings versus 2, both players headshotted, and is there to close out the round as well. It is one of those things in esports when Althea is in form.
Smokes, Courser's utility to back him up. Even getting caught by some himself.
Alongside ultimate for Miniboo, it feels like they've almost put all their eggs in one basket. He's dead immediately. Althea again with the opener.
I was saying earlier, you can't take anything away from him. His utility so important here on the attack, but now he's starting to claim a name for himself with the gun in hand. I think just one behind Kayak. In terms of frags, like just a matched up there. Benji down on the ground, and the dominoes all falling in favor of Fnatic. Boo, even lost on that south side push. There's almost nothing to fall back on here. They've at least dealt with Althea, but let's be honest, there's very little when it comes to weakness here on the Fnatic side. I think Boaster one away from having, in fact, there it is, the same amount of kills as the last time these two met in a series. This is a Fnatic fired up in the upper bracket finals, and now one map to the good.
Really impressive display from them. The attack almost flawless and a stellar defensive side as well. It took them a little while to get going with that second round blip. But well, now we look to see if Heretics are going to turn up for the show. Icebox is coming up next after the break.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. I don't know. You don't care. Give you my love. Do you know Michael Jackson? You better run, you better do what you can. Can you sing something from Michael Jordan? I'm the best. Swish, swish, swish. I'm the best.
Red Bull gives you wings.